we did.
Okay. So we've already done our quiz, and we're going to go through and talk about the answers that we got. 1 and 2, we both put A. We completed the individual prep, and we are actually participating in our group meeting. Um, for 3, we put C, and so H naught equals beta 1 equals 0, or the alternative hypothesis is beta 1 does not equal 0. And for that one was pretty straight out of the textbook, as far as when beta naught and beta 1 are unknown. What is your null alternative hypothesis for beta 1? That was the textbook answer. For residual, we put B. Or for number 4, a residual, B is the difference between the observed value y and the value predicted by the regression line. Again, a pretty textbook answer. The definition that was given.
Yeah, okay. So plot of residual supports using linear regression when the residuals look normally distributed with zero mean. So that's on the part in 3.3 where it looks like about half is above the line where it's equal to 0 and half is below. So that's where we got that answer. 6, I'm not. You want to go over 6 real quick?
You want me to?
Yeah, if you could.
Okay.
I'm still struggling
The
on that one.
residuals for the math self-efficacy data using software. Use the confidence data as the explanatory value and the score data. What statement best describes the residuals? We had originally put C, but we don't know that they form a linear pattern yet because with what they asked us to do, we were just looking at the numbers, which means that A would be the correct response. The residuals are between about -40 and -25. They're very much so between them, actually. But based off of what we're looking at this time, does that sound good to you, Joe?
Yeah, sure. I was still thinking C, honestly, but I honestly don't know. I'm pretty confused on that one. I need to take that one to the lab.
So
Get
if you
some
want to say
fun.
C, I can say A, and we'll just see who gets what right.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I'll probably look at it a little bit more or something. Whether I get it right or wrong, I'm definitely going to take it to the lab and get help. So
Okay, sounds good. So Joe has C, I have A for number 6. So then 7, based on the QQ plot for the results, what can you say about these residuals? And we said that they are fairly normal.
yeah, yeah,
What?
yeah. I said that's good.
Okay. Looking at they formed a fairly defined line, and we felt that that was enough to say that they're normal or fairly normal. 8, I don't know that we spent much time talking about 8. Use software to create a scatter plot for the math self-efficacy data. Given the scatter plot, residual plots, and QQ plot, which of the 5 assumptions about linear regression are satisfied by this data? Check all that apply. We did agree on the first one, which is there is a linear relationship between x and y. And then I put the values of the x are measured without error as well, because x was not a predicted, it was something we had the scores for already.
Mm-hmm.
But those are really the only 2 that I put down that I
Yeah,
thought were
I think you
very
just have to.
confident.
Yeah, you have to go over like every single plot and check. It's on the tests is like in the textbook, and so that's what you use to determine what you're gonna put. I'm probably gonna go over this one a little bit more too.
Okay. 9, beta 1, the estimates for the slope was 0.042. That one was pretty, you did it with SPSS, the analyze, regression, linear, and then finding them, as well as the standard deviation was, not the standard deviation, our confidence interval, that's right, was in there as well. We put D, which was 0.023 and 0.048. For
Yep.
11, we chose C, failed to reject the null hypothesis because the p-value is greater than alpha. 12, putting everything in terms of the null hypothesis, there's insufficient evidence to conclude that the slope of the regression line is 0. That one's going to be wrong. Because we failed to reject the null hypothesis, and the null hypothesis says that the regression line, or the slope, is 0. So it would be A, there is sufficient evidence to conclude that the slope of the regression line is 0.
Okay.
Glad we're doing this.
Yeah. So 13, 14 are pretty easy. 14 and 13 just talks about what's the dependent variable, which is the body length. And then 14, since the 99% confidence interval for these data is 7.124 and 8.311, what can you say about B0 or B1? There's a 99% chance the confidence interval will contain the true value of B1. And that is the correct answer, I believe. So, yeah, I honestly don't know what we're going to get on this quiz.
I'm going to go and stop the broadcast now, and we'll submit our quizzes.